Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Chasing goals that society says you should want, a perfect relationship, a bustling social life, constant validation. Maybe you've got a good job, a nice place to live, or even a partner, but deep down, there's a quiet voice asking, is this really enough? Is this what freedom feels like? Pause for a moment and picture this. You're alone in your space, no distractions, no expectations. Just you and your thoughts. In that stillness, you might wonder, what does true freedom mean? Is it the ability to do anything, anytime? Or is it something deeper, a strength that no one can take away, no matter what life throws at you? Let me share a story about Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher born into slavery in ancient Rome. He had no control over his body or his circumstances, yet he found a freedom that chains couldn't touch, the freedom of his mind. Epictetus taught that we can only control our thoughts, our choices, and our actions, things within our reach. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Through Stoicism, he became one of history's greatest thinkers, proving that you can be unstoppable, no matter the odds. Now let's bring that wisdom to today's world. We live in a culture obsessed with connection. We're told that to be happy we need to find the one, surround ourselves with friends, or always have someone by our side. Living alone, that's often seen as a flaw, a sign of loneliness or failure. But what if that's all wrong? What if living alone is not a weakness, but a golden opportunity to build unshakable strength and true freedom? Think about it. Some of the greatest minds, artists, writers, philosophers, found their brilliance in solitude. Alone, you have the space to hear your own voice, to shape your life without the weight of others' expectations. Stoicism gives us the tools to make the most of this space, to turn solitude into a sanctuary of growth. In this video, True Freedom, How Living Alone Makes a Man Unstoppable, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy can transform the way you see living alone. We'll challenge the myth that solitude equals loneliness and share 5 powerful Stoic strategies to help you harness this time for personal growth. Drawing from the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca and Epictetus, you'll learn how to find peace in your own company, cultivate ironclad self-discipline, and connect deeply with your purpose. By the end, you'll realize that living alone isn't a limitation, it's a liberation, a chance to become truly unstoppable. So, are you ready to rethink what it means to be alone? To unlock the freedom that's already within you? Let's start this journey together. Strategy 1. Cultivating inner peace through solitude. Let's dive into our first Stoic strategy for transforming the experience of living alone into a journey of strength and freedom. Cultivating inner peace through solitude. When you live alone, you're gifted with something rare in today's world: quiet. No constant chatter, no demands pulling you in every direction. Just you, your thoughts, and the space to breathe. At first, this silence might feel heavy, even unsettling. But Stoicism teaches us that this is where true power begins, in the stillness of your own mind. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This isn't just poetic, it's a call to action. Solitude isn't something to fear, it's a sanctuary where you can build a foundation of inner peace that no external chaos can shake. So, how do you turn solitude into a source of strength? It starts with changing how you see being alone. Society often paints solitude as loneliness, a void to be filled with people or distractions. But Epictetus, another Stoic giant, reminds us, we are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. If you view solitude as a lack, it will weigh you down. But if you see it as an opportunity, it becomes a wellspring of clarity and calm. Let's make this practical. Imagine a guy named Tom who recently moved into his own apartment after a breakup. At first, the quiet evenings felt oppressive. He'd scroll through social media, comparing his life to others, feeling like he was missing out. But then, Tom decided to try something different. Inspired by Stoic ideas, he started spending 10 minutes each morning in meditation, just sitting quietly, focusing on his breath, letting his thoughts come and go without judgment. Over time, he noticed a shift. The silence that once felt empty now felt grounding. He began to enjoy his own company, finding peace in the simple act of being present. Meditation is a powerful tool, but it's not the only one. Journaling can also help you process your thoughts and find clarity. Try this. Each evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for and 1 thing you learned about yourself that day. It could be as simple as appreciating a good cup of coffee or recognizing that you handled a stressful moment with calm. This practice trains your mind to focus on the positive and builds a habit of self-reflection, a cornerstone of Stoic growth. Another way to cultivate inner peace is to engage in activities that light you up. Living alone means you have the freedom to explore your passions without compromise. Love music? Spend an evening learning to play a new song on the guitar. Into books? Dive into a novel or a philosophy text that challenges your thinking. These moments of joy reinforce that you don't need anyone else to feel fulfilled. You are enough. Let's look at another example. Consider Sarah, a young professional who lives alone in a bustling city. She used to fill her evenings with noise, TV, podcasts, anything to avoid the quiet. But after reading about Stoicism, she decided to embrace her solitude. She started taking long walks in a nearby park, leaving her phone at home, just observing the world around her. Those walks became her sanctuary, a time to think deeply about her goals and values. She found that the more she leaned into these quiet moments, the less she craved external validation. Her confidence grew, and she felt more centered than ever. Here's a practical tip to get started. Dedicate 5 minutes each day to a quiet activity that centers you. It could be meditation, journaling, or simply sitting with a cup of tea and no distractions. The key is consistency. Over time, these small moments will build a reservoir of inner peace that you can draw on no matter what life throws your way. But why does this matter? Because inner peace is the foundation of being unstoppable. When you're at peace with yourself, you're not swayed by others' opinions or rattled by life's ups and downs. You become a man who stands firm, grounded in his own strength, just as the Stoics envisioned. This is just the beginning. By cultivating inner peace through solitude, you're laying the groundwork for the other Stoic strategies we'll explore. So, take that first step today. Embrace the quiet and discover the power that's already within you. Strategy 2. Building self-reliance. Now let's turn to our second Stoic strategy, building self-reliance. When you live alone, you enter a world where everything depends on you. From paying bills, cooking dinner, to fixing a broken lamp, there's no one else to rely on. At first, this can feel overwhelming. But through the lens of Stoic philosophy, it's a golden opportunity to develop an essential skill, self-reliance. Self-reliance is the ability to face life's challenges independently, both practically and emotionally. It's the confidence that you can handle difficulties, big or small, on your own. In Stoicism, self-reliance reflects focusing on what you can control, your actions, choices, and reactions. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When living alone, you exercise this power daily. Each time you solve a problem, from planning meals to navigating a tough day, you're training yourself to shape your life through your own efforts. Consider a practical example. Meet James, a young man who moved to a new city for his first job. Initially, he struggled with basics like cooking or keeping his apartment tidy. He used to rely on his mum or roommates for these tasks. But instead of giving up, James embraced the challenge. He learned to cook simple meals through tutorials, budgeted his expenses, and even fixed a leaky faucet himself. Over time, James not only mastered these skills, but also felt a surge of pride and confidence. He realized he could handle whatever life threw at him. Practical self-reliance is crucial, but there's another dimension: emotional self-reliance. When living alone, you don't always have someone to share joys or sorrows with. You must learn to be your own comforter and motivator. This might sound daunting, but it's immensely empowering. Stoicism teaches us to find contentment within, independent of others. Epictetus said, "The wise person does not grieve for what they lack, but rejoices in what they have." When living alone, you learn to appreciate what you have: a quiet evening, a good book, or simply your ability to get through a tough day. Think of Emma, a woman living alone after a job transfer. At first she felt lonely, especially in the evenings with no one to talk to. But Emma decided to use this time to focus on herself. She started journaling her thoughts and feelings each night. She also tried yoga to manage stress and discovered a love for indoor gardening. Through these activities, Emma realized she didn't need others to feel complete. She could create her own joy and peace. So how can you start building self-reliance? Here are some practical suggestions. Set small goals to learn new skills. Pick one area to improve each month, like cooking a new dish, learning basic home repairs, or budgeting. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. Practice emotional self-care. Find habits that help you manage your emotions, like meditation, exercise, or creative outlets such as drawing or writing. Make them a regular part of your life. Use Stoic exercises. One powerful exercise is negative visualization, where you imagine losing something valuable, like your health or home, to appreciate it more. For example, reflect on life without the comforts you have. This fosters gratitude and reduces dependence on external things. Challenge yourself. Occasionally, step out of your comfort zone. Try something new, like traveling solo, taking a class, or tackling a personal project. Each challenge you overcome strengthens your confidence and self-reliance. Remember, building self-reliance doesn't mean doing everything alone or never asking for help. It means knowing you're capable of handling things when needed, and that your happiness lies primarily in your own hands. By cultivating self-reliance, you're laying another critical brick in the foundation of becoming unshakable. You're teaching yourself that you're capable, resilient, and independent, qualities that will serve you in every area of life. In the next strategy, we'll explore how living alone can help you forge unbreakable discipline. But for now, think about how you can start building self-reliance today. Maybe it's cooking a simple meal, making a budget, or spending 5 minutes journaling your emotions. Whatever it is, know that each step brings you closer to true freedom. Strategy 3. Developing unbreakable discipline. Let's dive into our third Stoic strategy for becoming unstoppable while living alone: developing unbreakable discipline. When you live by yourself, you're the sole architect of your life. No one wakes you up, reminds you to work out, or pushes you to finish that project. This freedom is both a gift and a challenge. It gives you the power to shape your days exactly as you choose, but it also demands a level of self-discipline to avoid slipping into chaos or procrastination. In Stoic philosophy, discipline is a cornerstone of a virtuous life. It's about doing what's right, even when it's hard, and resisting impulses that pull you away from your goals. Epictetus, a Stoic master, said, "Freedom is not procured by a full enjoyment of what is desired, but by controlling the desire." This means true freedom comes from mastering yourself, your habits, your choices, your actions. And living alone? It's the perfect training ground for this mastery. Think about it. When you're alone, there's no one to impress, no one to judge your daily routines. It's just you and your commitment to becoming better. This solitude strips away excuses, forcing you to confront your weaknesses and build habits that align with your highest aspirations. Let's see how this works in practice. Consider Mark, a freelance writer who lives alone in a small apartment. At first, the lack of structure was overwhelming. He'd sleep in, binge-watch shows, and let deadlines creep up. But Mark decided to take control, inspired by Stoic teachings. He set a goal to write 1,000 words every morning before checking his phone. The first week was tough. His bed was tempting and distractions were everywhere. But he leaned into the Stoic idea that discomfort builds strength. He started small, writing for just 30 minutes, and gradually increased his focus. Now, 6 months later, Mark's discipline is ironclad. He's finished a novel draft and feels more in control of his life than ever. Or take Anna, who lives alone and wanted to improve her fitness. With no gym buddy to motivate her, she had to rely on herself. She committed to a 20-minute workout every evening, no matter how tired she felt. To stay accountable, she used a Stoic practice. Each night, she reflected on whether she honored her commitment. Over time, her workouts became non-negotiable, and the discipline she built transformed not just her body, but her confidence and focus in other areas. So how can you develop this unbreakable discipline while living alone? Here are 5 practical steps, rooted in Stoic wisdom. Set clear goals. Decide what matters most to you. Maybe it's learning a skill, getting fit, or advancing your career. Make your goals specific, like read 10 pages daily, or run 5 kilometers 3 times a week. Build a daily routine. Create a schedule that includes time for work, self-care, and personal growth. Stick to it, even when motivation fades. Consistency turns actions into habits. Practice Stoic reflections. Each morning, set an intention for the day, like, I will focus on my priorities. Each evening, review your actions. What did you do well? Where can you improve? This keeps you accountable to yourself. Remove temptations. Identify distractions that derail you, social media, unhealthy snacks or clutter, and minimize them. For example, keep your phone in another room while working, or stock your kitchen with nutritious food. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge your progress, whether it's sticking to your routine for a week or resisting a temptation. These victories build momentum and reinforce your discipline. This discipline isn't just about getting things done. It's about becoming a person who can face any challenge with resolve. When you live alone, every choice you make to stay disciplined strengthens your character, making you resilient against life's storms. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By mastering your actions through discipline, you unlock a power that no external force can take away. Our next strategy will explore how living alone helps you connect deeply with your purpose, giving your life direction and meaning. But for now, take a moment to act. Choose one small goal. like waking up 15 minutes earlier tomorrow to meditate or work on a project, and commit to it. That single step could be the start of an unbreakable discipline that makes you unstoppable. Strategy 4. Connecting deeply with your purpose. Let's move on to our fourth Stoic strategy for becoming unstoppable while living alone: connecting deeply with your purpose. When you live by yourself, you have a rare chance to explore what truly matters to you, free from the noise and expectations of others. This solitude is a gift, a quiet space where you can dive into your deepest thoughts and desires to uncover what gives your life meaning. As Awada shared on X, solitude for the Stoics is not something to be feared or avoided. On the contrary, it can be an opportunity to cultivate self-sufficiency, reflect on oneself, and find inner peace. This perspective sets the stage for using alone time to discover your purpose. In Stoicism, finding your purpose is at the heart of a fulfilling life. The Stoics believe everyone has a unique role in the universe, and living in alignment with that role leads to virtue and happiness. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected on his responsibilities as an emperor, urging himself to act according to his purpose. He wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do?'" This reminds us that purpose gives our actions meaning, and solitude is the perfect setting to uncover it. When you live alone, there's no one else's voice to drown out your own. You can ask big questions. What are my core values? What do I want to achieve? How can I make a difference? These questions might feel overwhelming, but in the stillness of your own space, answers start to emerge. Seneca noted that without a clear purpose, even the best circumstances lack meaning. Living alone lets you define that purpose on your own terms, unswayed by external pressures. Here's how you can start connecting with your purpose. Set aside time each week for self-reflection. Try journaling about what excites you, what you're good at, and what you believe in. For example, write down 3 things that make you feel alive, maybe teaching, creating art, or helping others. Visualize your ideal life 5 or 10 years from now. Picture where you are, what you're doing, and the impact you're making. This can clarify your goals and the steps to reach them. Practice gratitude for the present moment. Seneca taught that a purposeful life is rooted in appreciating what you have now. Each day, note one thing you're thankful for. It could be as simple as a quiet morning or a new skill. Let's look at Alex, a young professional living alone in a bustling city. At first, he felt adrift, unsure of his career or personal goals. But he decided to make the most of his solitude. Every Sunday, Alex sat with a notebook, reflecting on his week, what he enjoyed, what frustrated him, and what he wanted more of. Patterns emerged. He was passionate about environmental sustainability and dreamed of making a difference. This realization prompted him to take courses and shift to a job advocating for green initiatives. Alex's journey reflects what Marcus Aurelius described: a man's true greatness lies in the consciousness of an honest purpose in life. By facing challenges in solitude, Alex's purpose grew stronger, proving that obstacles refine our sense of meaning. Epictetus also emphasized purpose, saying, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." For Alex, solitude was the space to decide who he wanted to be, and action followed. You can do the same by engaging in activities that spark joy and fulfillment. Alone, you're free to explore hobbies like writing, volunteering, or learning without judgment. These pursuits often reveal what resonates with you, shaping your purpose. The Stoic practice of memento mori, reflecting on your mortality, can further sharpen your focus. Knowing life is finite pushes you to prioritize what aligns with your values. In solitude, you can contemplate these truths without distraction, making choices that lead to a meaningful life. Try this. Once a week, reflect on how you'd live if you had only a year left. What would you focus on? This exercise clarifies what truly matters. Connecting with your purpose makes you less dependent on others' approval. Marcus Aurelius observed, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Solitude helps you break this cycle, grounding your actions in your own judgment. This internal drive fuels resilience, letting you push through setbacks with clarity and determination. By embracing your purpose, you tap into a strength that's uniquely yours. As the Stoic manual posted on X, solitude is where the strongest minds are forged. Learn to be alone. It's a superpower. This superpower makes you unstoppable, ready to face any challenge with purpose as your guide. In our next strategy, we'll explore how living alone can help you achieve true freedom by detaching from external opinions. But for now, reflect on your purpose. What drives you? What do you want to achieve? Use your alone time to explore these questions, and you'll be one step closer to becoming unstoppable. Strategy 5. Achieving true freedom by detaching from external opinions. Let's explore our fifth and final Stoic strategy for becoming unstoppable while living alone, achieving true freedom by detaching from external opinions. When you live by yourself, you step away from the constant hum of others' expectations. There's no one in your space to judge your choices, no immediate pressure to conform to societal norms. This solitude is a powerful opportunity to practice one of Stoicism's most liberating principles, freeing your mind from the weight of what others think. In Stoic philosophy, true freedom isn't about doing whatever you want or escaping physical constraints. It's about mental independence, living in a way that your peace and purpose aren't swayed by external judgments. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who rose from slavery to wisdom, taught that our happiness depends on focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. He said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Enchiridion. In other words, it's not others' opinions that affect us, it's how we choose to interpret them. Living alone gives you the space to practice this detachment. Without the daily influence of others, you can make decisions based on your own values, not on what might earn approval or avoid criticism. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback or becoming isolated. Instead, it's about evaluating opinions objectively and not letting them define your worth or guide your path. Let's see this in action. Meet John, a graphic designer who lives alone and works remotely. John used to be consumed by social media, constantly checking for likes and comments on his posts. The lack of engagement made him doubt his skills, and negative feedback stung deeply. But after discovering Stoicism, John decided to shift his focus. He limited his social media use to an hour a day and started a morning routine of reading Stoic texts like Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. Now, he also began journaling, asking himself, "Did I act according to my values today, or was I seeking others' approval?" Over time, John found he cared less about online validation. He pursued bold, creative projects without fear of criticism, leading to a portfolio that landed him dream clients. His solitude became a sanctuary for building confidence in his own judgment. Another example is Lisa, who lives alone after moving to a new city. She initially felt pressure to fit in, dressing and acting to match her colleagues' expectations. But in her quiet apartment, Lisa began reflecting on what truly mattered to her. Inspired by Stoic ideas, she practiced negative visualization, imagining receiving criticism and realizing it didn't diminish her worth. This exercise helped her embrace her unique style and values, earning her respect for her authenticity. As the Stoic manual shared on X, solitude is where the strongest minds are forged. Learn to be alone, it's a superpower. So, how can you detach from external opinions while living alone? Here are 5 practical steps rooted in Stoic wisdom. Practice self-reflection. Each evening, take 5 minutes to journal. Ask, did my actions today reflect my values, or was I influenced by others' expectations? This builds awareness of your motivations. Limit social media exposure. Social media often fuels comparison and validation seeking. Set boundaries, like checking platforms only once a day, to focus on your own thoughts. Cultivate self-acceptance. Embrace your strengths and flaws. Remind yourself daily that your worth is inherent, not tied to others' opinions. A simple affirmation like, "I am enough," can reinforce this. Engage in Stoic exercises. Try negative visualization. Imagine receiving criticism or disapproval and notice it doesn't change who you are. This builds resilience against external judgments. Set personal boundaries. Decide what aligns with your principles and stick to it, even if it means saying no. For example, decline invitations that don't serve your goals, prioritizing your path. This strategy ties together the previous ones: inner peace, self-reliance, discipline, and purpose. By detaching from external opinions, you solidify your inner strength, living authentically and unshaken by praise or criticism. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Ratitotra. When you control your perspective, you control your freedom. Detaching from external opinions makes you unstoppable because your actions are driven by your own compass. You're no longer tossed by the winds of others' judgments, standing firm like a Stoic sage in any storm. As Eduardo noted on X, solitude, for the Stoics, is not something to be feared or avoided. On the contrary, it can be an opportunity to cultivate self-sufficiency, reflect on oneself, and find inner peace. Our journey through these 5 Stoic strategies is nearly complete. In the conclusion, we'll tie together how these practices transform living alone into a path to true freedom. But for now, take a small step toward detachment. Tonight, reflect on one decision you made today. Was it for you or for others' approval? That moment of clarity is your first step toward an unstoppable life. We've journeyed through 5 powerful Stoic strategies that transform the experience of living alone into a path of strength, resilience, and true freedom. First, we learned to cultivate inner peace, finding tranquility in the quiet moments of solitude. Then, we built self-reliance, mastering practical and emotional challenges on our own. We forged unbreakable discipline, creating habits that shape a life of purpose. We connected deeply with our purpose, discovering what truly drives us. And finally, we achieved true freedom by detaching from external opinions, living authentically by our own values. Together, these strategies reveal a profound truth. Living alone is not a limitation, it's a liberation. It's a chance to become the architect of your own life, unshaken by the world's noise and guided by your inner compass. As Eduardo shared on X, solitude, for the Stoics, is not something to be feared or avoided. On the contrary, it can be an opportunity to cultivate self-sufficiency, reflect on oneself, and find inner peace. This solitude is your training ground, where you forge a mind and spirit that are truly unstoppable. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor who found wisdom amidst chaos, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the heart of Stoicism, and the essence of our journey today. By mastering your thoughts, actions, and purpose, you unlock a freedom that no external force can take away. Living alone becomes not just a phase, but a powerful chapter in your story of growth and self-discovery. So, what's next? Take a moment to reflect on your own solitude. How can you embrace it as a source of strength? Start small, perhaps with 5 minutes of journaling about your purpose or building one daily habit to strengthen your discipline. These small steps, grounded in Stoic wisdom, will lead you toward a life of clarity, resilience, and true freedom. If this video has inspired you, please hit the like button to let us know. Subscribe to our channel for more insights on Stoicism and personal growth, and share your thoughts in the comments below. How has living alone shaped your journey? What Stoic practice will you try today? Your story could inspire others in our community. And don't stop here. Check out our other videos, linked on the screen, to dive deeper into the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Thank you for joining us at Stoic Path. Your presence makes this journey richer. Now, go out there, embrace your solitude, and become the unstoppable force you were meant to be. Until next time, live wisely, live boldly, live free.